Venn-tastic. We're going to be looking at Venn diagrams by Catherine at www.piecrust.com. So let's look at our first one. After finals week, a large bonfire was created with math and chemistry textbooks that couldn't be sold back. Of the 82 students that offered their textbooks to the fire, 8 did not throw a textbook into the fire. 49 threw one of each, and 12 tossed only a math book. How many math books were burned to ashes? How many chemistry books were burned to ashes? Well, let's do this one. Okay, so here's my question. Now I look at it and I say, well, what two things were burned to ashes? Yeah, math books. So I'm going to make a circle for math books. Here's my M for math. And then chemistry books. So here's my circle for chemistry books. Of the 82 students that offered their textbooks to the fire, 8 did not throw in a textbook. So they're out here in the universe. They were just observing. Or maybe they're thinking about next semester when they get to throw their textbooks in. 49 threw one of each. So if I could squeeze it in here, 49 threw a math book and a textbook, one of each. And 12 only tossed in a math book. So there's 12 here. The first question was, how many math books were burned to ashes? Well, that's not too bad because we're going to look in the math circle. There were 12 plus 49. So that gives me a total of 61. 61 students threw in a math book. The second question was, how many chemistry books were burned to ashes? So we want to know how many chemistry books. Well, what I have to do for that one is look up here and see that there are 82 students total that were helping at this bonfire. So if I take 82 minus these guys, the 8 that didn't do anything, they're just observing, minus the 12 that only threw in a math book, minus the 49 that threw in a math book and a chemistry book, that should give me how many threw in only a chemistry book. And it turns out that 13 threw in only a chemistry book. So we're going to put 13 here. And you just completed your first Venn diagram. Let's look at the next one. Ghosts or Sasquatch? Which do you believe? A local meeting of the parapsychological, you try saying that, club were surveyed by asking that very question. It was not surprising to find that 78% believed in both, 82 in Sasquatch, and 17 believed in only ghosts. What percent believed in ghosts? What percent believed only in Sasquatch? And what percent were guests of the members? Didn't believe in either. So let's look at this one. What two things are we looking at? Yep, ghosts or Sasquatch. So I'm going to make a big circle here for ghosts. That's a G. And a big circle here for Sasquatch, which is an S. Now we're going to fill in some of the stuff we know. It was not surprising to find that 78% believed in both. You always want to start in the middle. So here's my 78%. 82% in Sasquatch. So in this Sasquatch circle, I need to have 82%. So to figure out how many believed only in Sasquatch, I would take 82 minus the 78 that have already admitted to believing in Sasquatch. And what does that give us? 82 minus 78 gives us 3. So there are 3% that believe only in Sasquatch and not in ghosts. And then they said that 17% believe only in ghosts. So here's our 17. Our last question was, how many of those people were guests? Okay. Well, if we're talking percent, we're talking about 100%. Okay. So I'm going to take 100% minus the 17 that only believe in ghosts, minus the 78 that believe in both, minus the 3 that only believe in Sasquatch. And I get 2. So what does that mean? That means when I draw my rectangle here for the universe, there's 2% out here that were just guests. They don't necessarily, well, actually, they don't believe in ghosts or Sasquatch. They're just hanging out with their friends. A survey of 45 male college students asked which type of underwear they wear, boxers or briefs. 9 responded both, 19 boxers, and 28 responded briefs. How many wear only boxers? How many wear only briefs? And how many go commando? They don't wear underwear. Ugh. So let's look at this one. The first thing I do is I look and I say, well, what two things are we comparing here? Right, we're comparing boxers and briefs. So here's my circle. I'm going to put X for boxers, and I'm going to put R for briefs, because I can't use B for both of them because it would be hard to figure out which circle is which. So 9 responded they wear both, hopefully not at the same time. 19 wear boxers. So in this circle, I need to have 19 total. So I take 19 minus 9, which is 10. So that tells me that 10 were only boxers. When I go into my brief circle, it's the same situation. Out of the 28 that were briefs, 9 already said they were both. So we're going to take 28 minus 9, and that gives us 19. So that tells us that 19 were only briefs. Now the last question is, well, how many that responded didn't wear either? Ooh, they go commando. Well, remember, we surveyed 45 students. 10 of them responded as wearing only boxers. 9 of them responded as wearing both. And 19 responded as wearing only briefs. So when I subtract those out, that leaves me with 7. So I'm going to draw my rectangle for my universe. And that means 7 are sitting out here. They wear neither boxers nor briefs. Sponsored by www.piecrust.com. And these are included in a great little Venn diagram worksheet at www.piecrust.com/vids and look for Venn-tastic.